Hello and welcome back to another opening and ending reaction video. My name is WW Dadman, you already know that. And today we are checking out all openings and endings to Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, as per usual, well, if this needs to be blurred or muted for copyright reasons, then the unblurred or unmuted version will be linked in the description down below. That will be on my Odyssey channel for free. And as also per usual, you can go ahead and watch that instead of this version if you want to. If there's no link, then that wasn't necessary. But I don't know how copyright is around this stuff, because I don't think I've ever had anything to do with uploading anything related to the Yu-Gi-Oh series. So yeah, we'll see. Either way, the English versions of the openings will get their own video, so that will go up at the same time as well, alongside the first impression for the first episode of the original season 0, as well as the frickin' Duel Monsters anime, as well as the first episode, the reaction to the first episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series. So yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff going on at the same time. You can go watch all of those right now. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start off with the opening for season 0. Let's go. I said let's go. Motherfucker, play the video. Anime themes? I said this on the first impression for the season 0 episode as well, but I like how there's a character who's literally not even in anything later, like anything in the Duel Monsters anime, just existing in this. Who is she? Anyway, the art style of this has very distinct differences to the later on series. Especially Yugi's hair. Looks kind of weird on this. Yeah, I mean, the music sure sounds like a 90s opening. I don't know. It also doesn't really, fit the much darker theme that this has compared to, even, non-dub version of Duel Monsters. Because this is way darker. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a fine opening. It works to some extent. Not the greatest work in terms of musical composition, but it's fine. Either way, let's go on to the Duel Monster series. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters Opening 1. I think I already said that on the first impression as well, but this opening actually kind of slaps. I like how some of the shots from the opening animation still made it into the English version of the opening, but the music is like nothing like it. By the way, I really kind of want to know who the artist for this is. Let me really quickly look that up. Opening one voice artist. Cloud. I don't know that freaking artist. Really good voice though. Did they do anything else for anime? That is a really good opening. I kind of actually want to listen to the full version of it. There's a really like nice drive behind the drums on this. Like the freaking snare really drives that. Yeah. That's opening one. Let's go on to the next one. Opening two, Shuffle. I mean, it is a pretty good song. It just missing the certain something for being a really great opening. I don't know what that something is, but it's missing. Like music style wise, this is absolutely up my alley, but it's missing a certain something. Either way, next one. I'm really glad that I have like a prolonged weekend to like record for this upcoming week, because this is gonna take a while, and if I didn't have Monday as like a holiday and therefore not have to go to work, I'd probably have a little bit of an issue doing all of the reactions this weekend, because this is gonna take a while. Either way, opening 3, Wild Drive. 'Why are you hanging?' Yeah, the opening visuals for the Japanese openings are so different than the English ones. Because obviously I still know the visuals are the only thing that changed on the English opening for season 1, for Duel Monsters, the first series. Same for GX, and I'm assuming same for everything else, because I've only seen like one opening for every single one of them in like existence in terms of songs for the English version. But yeah, it looks so different. I don't know what it is. By the way, was the text on the God cards there in English? Uh-huh. I cannot read the one on Slifer, aka Osiris, because Slifer was just, one of the people at 4Kids self-inserting themselves for this. I don't know why they changed the name. But yeah, I can't read that. God of Osiris here, maybe, but I don't know. Son of God Dragon is very English, and the God of Obelisk, yeah, sure. Pretty decent opening. The song's decent. I don't know, for some reason none of these so far like really like grab me, but yeah, maybe that's just me not associating any kind of this music with Yu-Gi-Oh, because the first series throughout the entirety in the dub had the one opening that was a completely different vibe. But yeah, you'll see. If you had never seen that, then you'll see that in the other video to the English opening reactions. But yeah, cool. Let's go on. Opening 4, Warriors. That's probably my favorite one. I think this one is the only one that I actually let play when I rewatched the show in sub. So yeah, this is really good.
らは夢抱きかけ抜けてくそういつの日か胸にしまってたこの想いもう一度握りしめて今 I'll say baby
I think that might be because this is the first one of these that like captures the same kind of like energy and same kind of vibe as the English opening does, to an extent. But yeah, definitely great opening. And finally, we've got opening number 5, Overlap. That's right up there with the fourth one. Really great opening. They really got better over time, huh? Either way, let's go on to GX. And if you, as I said, if you want to see the reaction to the English openings, those are in a separate video. And the endings are coming up after the openings. So, yeah. Let's go on to GX. GX opening 1. They sure went for a very similar kind of like style on the English opening, didn't they? You know, that was sure a part of the song. But what genre even do you put this in? Like that's well of a mix. Now reasons why I always ended up dropping GX when I started watching it, because the furthest I've gotten was like halfway through. one, it is way slower paced than the original. Two, I really don't like Jaden's deck. Because the elemental hero stuff, I just don't like it. Maybe it's because I really don't like superhero stuff in general. Like I don't have any sort of like connection to that whatsoever. So maybe that's why I don't like the elemental heroes. But really the only like ace card in all of GX that was at all something I looked forward to seeing was Cyber End Dragon, and yeah, that wasn't really a lot in it, right? So either way, there's that.
大西の空の下夢という名の大航海へ越えられないものはない風を操りどこまででも自由に行ける
Yeah. I like the opening though. It's a kind of fits the show really well because upbeat, kind of really fun thing, which is really what this is all about. Because yeah, the spoilers, but most of this isn't about saving the world with card games the way that the original Duel Monsters was. But either way, let's go on to the next one. Opening number 2 for GX. Yeah, this is about I think I watched I've watched through this arc still, because hey, we've actually got Yami no Game, but not really a lot happening there either. Like I don't know. GX just never gripped me as much as the original series did. I think that's a thing for a lot of people. Hey, Cyber. The freaking Ojamas. Those were fun. Those were actually fun. Yeah, the knockoff freaking versions of the god cards also really never like those. Those are kind of really just the Egyptian god cards ordered on Temu. The song's kind of cool though. Let's go on to the next one. We're staying with the same band for this one. Bowl. Song's called Teardrop.
からずのように僕に突き刺さる胸の痛
Yeah.
さら
That was when I really stopped watching because Elemental Hero Neos and all of the Neospacian stuff, that is such a garbage strategy to play that I really didn't enjoy watching the duels. You can keep playing. Come on.
出していいよいつでもその笑顔救われてきた僕なんだ今だけ泣いていいよずっとここにいるからただ僕はここにいるからうわ
Opening is also kind of really freaking mellowed out, which, like, musically, this also doesn't put you in a mood where you're like, yeah, I want to watch this show. At least that's true for me. But yeah, that's when I dropped the show last time I started watching it. If you want me to watch the entirety of it eventually, then we'll probably put that on the watch along list whenever we start doing those. I'm thinking about maybe like setting a sub goal for that, but I'll have to think about where I put that sub goal because 2000's like coming up really soon. Probably with all of the music reactions coming in, but the thing is, the people who come from the music reactions probably don't really care for anime stuff, so but making that work kind of doesn't work. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, next opening, which is the final GX opening. Let's go.
忘れないよ初めての夢追い続けて Keep holding on 手が届かなくて諦めかけてた Broken dreams 置き去りの約束胸に刺さったまま抜けない君の言葉を何度も繰り返してる今風が背中を押してる Get up, body high 爆発しそう Let's die again 生まれ変わる今を抜き捨てて Precious life Glory days 一度だけのライフ色あせた世界を赤く濡れてくチャンスシャレラウ自分だけのスタイル忘れないよ初めての夢追い続けて Keep holding on
That is much more epic than the last one. And looking how this seems to be going, I'm not really surprised. It would be because it also looks like the show becomes a little bit more epic at the end. As I said, I never freaking watched that far, so I'll know whenever we get there. But yeah. Either way, let's go on to 5Ds. Card games on motorcycles. Let's go. You know what this sounds like? As if the singer is either burying the microphone in a pile of like freaking hat cushions and trying to sing into it, or he's using one of these microphones like mine is, and he's singing into the wrong side. Because this one's directional, like um yeah, this sounds weird.
何離れたって途切れることはないさより深くへ刻まれてゆくだから
傷つくことを恐れずにもっと駆け抜けてゆけ信じてるものその胸に抱きしめて
You know, what also didn't help this show when I tried to watch it one time is that I didn't like synchro summoning. It's such a stupid mechanic.
真実はいつだって一つだから心の声を感じて勇気ない気持ちを掲げて明日への兆しをつかめ
Yep. Really not the greatest opening. I don't know. Visuals were kind of cool, but the music severely lacking, I'd say. Also one reason why this didn't grab me, but yeah, let's see about opening 2.
遠く彼方を見渡して単純に視界の狭いこと気づいた自分捨てる方が楽でも最大限変えてみたいと思った今日がどんな
You know, I basically only know all of their freaking like ace monsters from the Legacy of the Duelist game on Steam, because I played through most of that. And I kind of, looking at this stuff, I kind of want to finish that when I get the time to like do a full recording of the rest of the stuff that we're still missing. So that's gonna go up on the main channel eventually when I get the time. But I just hate some of these monsters because they're so bullshit to like play against.
ダメな日でもわずかな光を明日はまた明日の自分で灯せばいい途切れないように消えないように自分を確かめて数えきれないほど傷ついても確かな明日が来るように飛んで勝って走る二度とない今日を途切れないように消えないように
Music also kind of didn't do much for me. I mean, it's a decent opening, but again, nothing that would grab me and like pull me in. But Yeah. Next one. Opening number 3. You know, the parts that are kind of 3D animation also look really like out of place. I don't know, but at least the music for this one is way better. And then I think we've got one more for 5Ds. Actually, never mind, 2 more. I swear I know the artist for this. Masaki Endo. I swear I know the artist from somewhere. I'll look it up after we're done with this one. That is a really cool opening. I love that song. It's probably best Yu-Gi-Oh opening so far in general. Really good one. I looked up where I know Masaki Endo from. He's in Gem Project, the group that did the frickin' openings for One Punch Man. And like a ton of other stuff. But One Punch Man. No wonder I like that. Okay, next one also same artist. Yeah.
始まりはいつだって君次第誰もがさまよう光を追い求め儚い夢見失いそうさ絆のつなげ決して負けはしない風になれ舞い踊れ闇を引き裂いてたどり着く場所今は見えなくでも走り出せその足で何も恐れずに未来へ続くこの道を Going my way 切り開いてゆけ
Awesome. Right up there with the previous one. Yeah. As expected, really, with that artist. Freaking amazing voice. Awesome energy. I like it. That's it with 5Ds. Up next, we've got Zexel or Zeal, however you want to freaking pronounce it. I don't care. Hello, Hatsune Miku no fucking Gekisho. Or like what the hell? Or like freaking disappearance of Hatsune Miku starts like that. So, yeah. What the hell? Yeah, that was an opening. Yeah, I didn't expect freaking Vocaloid speed of singing there. But cool. Definitely not the worst opening we've heard today. Opening 2. I swear I know this voice. I 100% know the voice of the singer for this. Raving. Good. Let's see. That's okay. The frickin' Performed by Kanan. I don't think I've heard of Kanan. Let me see. Um, hmm. Definitely did release music this year, so can't freaking find any other like stuff they've done. So like other anime or something, because I feel like I know the freaking voice, but I don't know.
夢と希望はどこにあるなんて知らないよ走り回って探しても見つからない真実と嘘の狭間に落ちているのかな僕らの物語なら始まってもいない
Weird mask.
崩れ落ちそうな道も弱気になる前に飛び出していこう近づいて遠のいてく真実をつかむために見えない未来から希望を探し出す誰よりも固い心
Really awesome vocals. By the way, as I said, anything past 5Ds, I've never even tried watching, so I've never watched anything of this. The only parts of this that I know are like what the characters look like because they appear in the story mode of frickin' Legacy of the Duelist. But I never even like read the frickin' story for it because I really didn't play that for the story. I played that for dueling. So yeah.
身につけて駆け上がるよ弱さと戦って勝ち上がる強さを身につけるためにかけがえのない仲間と足元に広がるこの世界の明日を見て
Cool. I like it. And the final opening for that Tamashii Drive.
進め進め力の限り共に行こう命燃やしてなんともよこの坂の向こうにはどんな景色が待っているんだろうなんともよ乗り越えてゆけるさ振り返るには僕ら早い蘇れ今こそ力合わせ解き放て魂ドライブ進め進め力の限り共に行こう命燃やして走れ走れたどり着くまで何度も何度も挑み続けて友よ今を生きてゆこうどんな時も共に進もう
Also, a really good opening. That I think this is the first one of the series that actually has only good openings. I like it. Makes me actually want to watch the freaking show. Either way, next one. This actually has like a second part. Just more seasons. So yeah, more openings for Zeal, Sexel, whatever you want to pronounce that. Let's go.
今始まるのさずっと胸に描き続けてたストーリーこの想いたきれ
Why are you hanging?
戦う準備はできている震える胸耳を澄ましてずっとその時を待っている負けることもあったけどその度にまた立ち上がれたまた強くなれた信じればいいさ今までよりも今の限界なんてもう揺り越えろ今始まるのさずっと胸に描き続けてたストーリーこの想いたぎれこの手にある切り札強く握りしめて
The 3D animation on that, not my thing.
夢に向かうんだ
I feel like CG really doesn't mix into Yu-Gi-Oh very well. But yeah, musically still good. So let's keep going. We're at almost an hour of video. We're still not done with the openings. That's quite the departure in style on the music from everything up until now. Not that it's bad, but not my thing. And this time the final opening for Seal.
Wonder Wings 連れて行くよ眩しすぎる世界へ Take off 運命を決める Duel さあ君の心見せて言葉じゃ埋めきれない感情が姿現すいつも隣で同じ夢見てた君と今、向かい合うことで作り出すのさ新しい未来 Shiny Draw Wonder Wings 連れて行くよ
しすぎる世界へ Take off to the future
That was kind of meh. I feel like this went the other direction as the other shows, because the other shows got better openings the longer they went on. This got worse openings the longer it went on. Either way, so much for that. So for this, I never know whether it's Arc V or Arc 5, seeing as it's the 5th one in the series. It would make sense, but I don't know. So let's get into the opening, the first opening for that. Arc 5. Okay, good. Arc 5. Now I know. I've never like read the freaking Japanese title before because I never saw this logo because everything that's marketed in the English parts does not have the Japanese one. So yeah. Sometimes this is really useful having the written out in kana. Anyway. Also the reason I know that it's not pronounced Zexel but Seal. But yeah, anyway. Either way, yeah, this is the pendulum one, cause yeah, this is like probably my least favorite summoning mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's see.
ハラハラ on the game
You're not telling me that those are the signature like archetype for the main character in this show. Not performer pals. Really. Okay, this is gonna be interesting when we watch it. Yeah, that's an opening. I don't know. Sure, a lot different than the previous seasons, huh? Let's go on. Arc 5 opening 2.
こうからそう僕が行くべき way お楽しみはこれからリアルの幕開け
Okay, that's very upbeat. It has so completely different vibes from everything up until this point, basically, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise. Like, this entire show seems to be just completely, like, different vibes. I've never seen it, but we'll watch at least the first episode when it comes around. So, yeah. Opening number 3. Sunday card games on motorbikes again? Yeah. I don't know. The music for this is kind of just run of the mill upbeat J-pop. Opening number 4. More card games on motorcycles. You know, I thought that was kind of 5D's kind of thing. I don't know. Kind of almost made me fall asleep. You wouldn't think that because it's actually like more upbeat than stuff that usually would, but I don't know that this is just, I don't know, maybe it's too monotonous. I don't get it. Like, I hardly noticed that it was over because I was literally tuning it out. There's just no. Opening number 5.
幾ばくもなく消える光
甘くささやく暗闇
二律背感で惑う感情
どっちだろうわからない
力任せにねじく制度も
何が変わるってんだろう
どうしても I can 動けないつながる愛のね言葉カルマを抱いて逃げない
Is that
僕のこと超えるのは僕だけしかないんだから
was that freaking from GX? 'Cause she looks like her.
作るのは憎しみなんかじゃない笑顔で人は強くなる
You know, the fact that performer pals are literally the freaking the freaking like deck for the main character. Man, and then it's about the freaking summoning technique that I least like in the trading card game. I don't think this series has much chance with me.
髪をかき分け進め辛い時こそ笑え I do believe in myself 信じてるんだ始まるショータイム
Anyway. And the final opening for Arc 5. That's way different.
Fire with fire waves この壁夢は見るもんじゃない叶えるもんだ傷だらけになっても諦めない信じた道それが望む世界だ Sesame Dash My life and my way ボケのような日常正解も間違いもないそうさ自分したスペシャルなオリジナルで奇跡を起こそうぜ何度でも立ち上がるさ無限に続く次元二度とない日々でみんなを笑顔に変えて Go away 輝いた未来つかめどんな暗闇もこの手で光照らしてみせる飛び出して見たことない世界へ後悔はしないで駆け抜けて振り子のように描き出そう Smile So smile
That in the background there, the smiley face is literally the same smiley face that the guys draw on their hands, that Anzu draws on their hands in like the first episode of Duel Monsters. That's the same face.
So smile
Nice callback. Either way, that's definitely the best opening for this this part of the show. Like that one rocks. And then we go on to what's the next one? Opening one of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. Actually, let me. Yep, I pronounced it correctly. It's not like any like V Reigns or something like that. It's Vrains.
走り抜ける Across the universe 光のような速さで始まるローディング夢の扉開けて
Why? Why are you hanging? Dude. Dear Anime Themes.moe, what is your problem? Motherfucker! Worked fine up until now. The random. Completely fucking random. This is a good song too. I don't want this cut up that much. Like, that was a decent opening. Let's hope it doesn't keep doing that to opening 2. Where's the boxing ring? You know, just seeing Link Kuribo there made me realize this is the part where Link summoning came in, and that's my second least favorite summoning mechanic. Right after Pendulum. Yeah. Either way. That was a very, very generic opening, honestly. Do these people have like stuff implanted in their freaking necks? Like, dude here, where is he? There. Is that like something implanted in his fucking neck? Gross. Seeing as that was the same artist as the previous one, it's not very surprising that there's also kind of run of the mill. Not the greatest stuff we've listened to today. Okay, we're onwards to Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, and this is kind of funny to me because the title for this song is Na 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 Na. Using that for Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens is kind of funny because Nana is Japanese for 7. You know, it's also kind of freaking ironic that it starts with the title of the next part of the show. Ooh. Full animation. Also, just in general, another thing, I'd really love if fucking Konami would finally freaking release Rush Duel as an actual card game in, like, anywhere that's not Japan. Like, seriously? People said, yeah, no, Speed Duel is kind of doing that already with the, like, smaller field and faster gameplay. Yeah, but they discontinued Speed Duel. And it literally used the normal freaking TCG cards, technically. Like, those Rush Duel cards look way better. Just from that standpoint, I want those. Anyway, Rush Duel is actually fun. I played some of the Switch game that came out a while ago, but yeah, nobody wanted to watch that, so I never continued. Maybe I will continue that once I frickin' am done with playing through frickin' Legacy of the Duelist. But yeah. Anyway, next opening. This definitely was like a different vibe as well. But that's expected if the dueling changes this much.
輝く光を信じてほら遊んで感じて信じて光へ飛び立て
That's cool. But like not super like awesome. I like I don't know. Again, missing a certain something. I don't know what. And with this, we are through with the openings. With the final opening, the opening for Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. Yeah, that's a decent one to fucking end off on. I'm looking forward to freaking watching the first episode of all of these, especially the ones that I haven't seen yet. But for now, we're done with the openings. We're gonna go into the endings, but I'm gonna record those once I'm back from the cinema, because it is currently Saturday the 7th of June when I'm recording this. I've got an Ado concert screening to catch there. So there's not gonna be any pause for you in between though, because I'm just gonna cut to the endings right now. Okay, endings time. I'm literally recording this the next day because yeah, time. Anyway, first is Ashita Moshi Kimi ga Kowarete mo by Once, which is the ending for the original season 0. Let's go. Come on.
毎年誰かが呼ぶ声暗闇の深いかな
Why are you lagging?
しみ白い素肌の君が僕の底に光を差す黒か白かわからないままこんな愛は時代遅れなのか僕らは一日中朝が訪れるのを待つだけ明日もし君が壊れてもここから逃げ出さない疲れた体
That's actually a really good ending. Amazing voice on the singer. Really good. Let's keep going. We've got like an incredible amount of endings to go through, more than with the openings. So I don't want to spend too much time on each and every one of them. Okay, ending number 1 for Duel Monsters.
プラス5キラキラする理科室で待ってて冷たい手と手合わせこすり合えば熱くなれるわ元気のシャワー君に注いであげる寂しげなその背中を支えてあげる元気のシャワー君は一人じゃないわ友情の大きな輪に守られてる
That's an ending, all right. Yeah, that can go on the generic frickin' slow ending pile and stay there. Ending 2.
遠い遠い昔にもここにいたような気がする夕日が彩った東京の教室切りすぎた前髪を指差し笑うみんなと少しずつ時は流れるマリカリブルのまぶたに触れるこの時と変わらぬ夕焼けがみんなを包んで僕が僕であるためにと何かを探し続けたたわいもないこの時間がダメだと知ったこれからもずっと
And that was basically the same ending in terms of how generic the song is. Are all of these gonna be like that? Like the visuals weren't much to talk about either. Like that was also just standard ending stuff. Ending 3.
沈まない太陽どこまでも昇るのさ夢は夢なんて終わらせないでしょまっすぐなレールと険しいルート行く行かないもあるやせカゴの中で指折り数え
I mean, the frickin' harmonizing vocals were kind of interesting, but is it just me, or do the vocals sound like they're off key? A very weird choice for a vocal melody, if that's how that was supposed to be. I don't know. Ending 4.
流れる街並み赤く染めてく痛みも気づけ
You know, what this makes me think of is those screenshots of shows where people just say like spot the main character. I mean, this is a bit extreme, but sorry, that's the only thing that makes me think of right now.
幸せに変わる人は涙を拭くたび人を知って君がくれた温かい力優しさに変えてゆくよ溢れる感情が止まらない感じたまま生きてくよ僕が僕であるために溢れる友情に癒されて巡り合いが真実だといつかわかり合えるよ
Could use that for a lullaby. Really freaking boring. I feel like all of these are gonna be like that. This is gonna be a very, very exhausting part of the video. Last ending for Duel Monsters. Okay, that's already better.
僕たちに地図なんていらない闇を切り裂いた希望だけこの手にゴールを決めずただ夢へ踏み出してく愛す感じるままに君の目が見つけるさ Oh 愛す願ったものが魂を震わせるデュエルなら Double
I think that's the first one that really fits the frickin' vibe of the show. Ah. That's actually a good ending. Let's go on to GX. GX ending 1.
限界バトル叩きつけて傷ついたっていいんじゃない
I like how there's cards in the background that are staples of like other frickin' characters from like Duel Monsters, and you never get to see these in frickin' GX. Like, you never see of the freaking cards Joey uses, or the freaking cards Kaiba uses, or the freaking cards Yugi uses being used in anything in the shows for the most part. So at least not in the like first half of it that I've actually seen. Either way, weird freaking choice for an ending background.
時は満ちた熱いジュエルのゴングが響く運命のカードが光る
Random Wing Kuribo.
落ちた胸の鼓動が激しく高ぶる選ばれし者よさあ立ち上がれ僕らと未来へ夢を解き放て一か八かのカウンターだから限界バトル叩きつけて傷ついたっていいんじゃないタイムリミットまで諦めないぜそうさ怖さ知らずさ限界バトルかっ飛ばして燃え尽きりゃ最高じゃない世界中がこの時代がさお前とライド
This could easily have been an opening. It's actually pretty hype. Especially for an ending. Anyway. Next one. I just looked at the artist while switching. It was Jam Project. Obviously there would be hype. Anyway. Next one. Wake Up Your Heart by Ken. Ending 2 for GX. I should look at the artist more. Can you play? You know, this time the background is actually stuff that you see in the show. That's good. Also, the music's great.
明日信じて今日生きようついてなんかいないで翼広げ駆け上がれ心 Wake up いつの日も Always 日は昇る君の熱い想い信じていれば Stand up 駆け出せば Non stop 止まらない夢見る世界目指し力の限りかけてゆこう
That's a great ending. So far, probably my favorite ending of all of the Yu-Gi-Oh endings so far. Ending number 3. Why are your fusion cards in the middle of your deck? Fucking elemental heroes.
当たりばったりじゃなくつまらなくても不適されないで彼も世界中照らして共に生きてる
Cool dynamic on the song there at the end. GX's endings are all pretty goddamn upbeat for endings, especially. Final ending for GX, Endless Dream by Hiroshi Kitadani.
最強のカードで掴み取れ輝くデュエルの果てなき夢を勇気で目覚める奇跡のドラマを終えることないピンチをチャンスに変えてゆこうぜきっとできる虹の橋を渡り未来を手に入れろ Together they fight 扉の向こうに立ちふさぐ黒い影真空の炎を燃やせ最強のカードで掴み取れ輝くデュエルの果てなき夢をどんなに辛い時があっても信じる仲間の笑顔抱いて
Yeah, I like GX's endings. The visual for this at the start was pretty cool as well because you could actually follow what was happening in the duel just by the cards getting flipped. Really cool. Either way, let's go on to 5Ds. 5Ds ending 1. Counterintuitively named Start.
信じてる絆を抱いてかけてゆく明日へ
If this keeps going like that, that's gonna be a very pleasant recording. Because that was actually kind of cool as well. Yeah, the last few have really been good songs. Let's keep going. Ending 2, Cross Game. An intro of the frickin' ending just showing off, in case you didn't notice yet, why the show is called 5Ds. The 5 dragon cards. There they are again. Duels in 5Ds that aren't taking place on motorbikes? That happens? I never watched anything past episode 1 of 5Ds. Really good song. We can keep going like that. Ending 3, Ozone by Vistlip? Never heard of them. Okay, that's just some generic rock, not anything to say anything about, really. That's pretty mediocre. Ending 4.
大事なことを胸に刻み込んで君のそばで輝く強い心は一つだけなんだ不安を隠して見栄を張っていつも誰にも耳を貸さないで強がりながら何度も何度も繰り返し生き続けてる僕の心は壊れるくらいに叫んでたそんなことは早めに捨てよう明日に進むだけだから自分らしさ探しているのなら最後まで決めたことを守っていけばいいさ大事なことを胸に刻み込んで君のそばで輝く強い心は一つだけなんだ
That's fine. Decent ending. And the final ending for 5Ds.
世界ならばこの胸には証を同じ涙濡れたら僕らは笑い合おう解き放ってた現実だ刻むことにフレーズを共鳴していく心に踊った高咲く名前のない花おそろいの居場所僕ら見つかる夢見るように目覚めて未来まで手伸ばした手掴む離す繰り返し探した思いついてく色で暗闇だってる見返ながら記憶傷なきもっと重ねたら未来色ずっと僕らは描いてく
Sure. Bit boring, that one, but otherwise, yeah. Next show. Ending one for Zeal. That started off heavy as heck. Instrumental wise, that's really freaking good. The guitar part, holy shit. Decent voice. That's a really good ending. Ending number 2 for Zeal. Yeah, decent rock song. I'm fine with it. Final one for Zeal Part 1.
ガッツポーズで勝利を抱きしめる時まで加速させて次へ行こうか高鳴るビートListen boys and girls 痛いけな少年少女の秘密本当は衝動的かつファイルドなんだ知らないでしょ手に負えないそれでいいじゃないやんちゃして学ぶリアル予測不可能を貫いて毅然とカードを切るのさいつだってそう迷う時は一度目を閉じるよストップかけるそこが境界線ガッツポーズで勝利を抱きしめる時まで止まらないよ後悔なんてしたくないから傷ついても今は躊躇なんてできないんだ諦めない明日は今日より輝くから真剣さ戦いを極めてゆくだけ常に自由に面白くなるよ毎日がファイト
That's a good one. I really like the guitar riff in the verse. Good voice. Yeah, that's a good ending. So I just saw when clicking on the endings for Zeal Second that the final ending for it for the final episode of Zeal is tagged with spoilers, so we're going to skip that one, but we're gonna check out the others. So let's go with this. If the player decides to play. Yeah, that was pretty boring. Next one. Excuse me? Again, I really like the instrumental. They did a really good job on some of these. I'd like to know what band did that one, but yeah, unfortunately this doesn't have the band, and I don't want to search it up right now because we still got a bunch of stuff to get through. And this is the last ending for Zeal that we're checking out, because the last ending is apparently spoiler ridden. I'll just trust frickin' anime themes for that one. Can you?
今過去未来も僕らが願っている夢のかけら掴み取るまでチャレンジだけ Let it go 打ち壊せないくらいの問題が僕らをまた試している君が胸に抱き続ける心死に抜いてそれが力になる涙を流した口消そうでも絆ってしたら繋いでこう全てこうすんだ恐れの運命さが熱い夢を燃やし続け突き抜けろ今過去未来も僕らが願っている夢のかけら手を伸ばし行こう限界を越えて掴み取るまでチャレンジだけ
This legit sounds more like an opening than an ending. Like, this could easily play as an opening, and I would not even question that. Including the animation. Either way, so much for Zeal. Onwards to Arc 5.
今胸躍る夢勝ちこぼれる涙を前に踏み出すよ初めての日奇跡に会うためのファークラスワンデー気づいたんだ強さは与えられるものじゃない一つずつそう掴み取るんだならすぐ動かなくちゃじっとしてなんていらない壁が風がゆくて阻んでも勇気で切り札ドローして一歩前へ信じる勝利のストーリー誰も挑戦中 My way 試されている You and me 辛い瞬間こそスマイルちゃん Why I step back 微笑みがエナジー逃げたい気持ちにはきっと飛び込むよ新しい日未来へと続くシャイニーワンステップ一歩たった一歩でいいそれがビッグチャンス
Decent. But not my kind of music. Ending number 2.
笑顔がそこにある限り Wanna keep on shining
究極のプライドかけて Wanna be the perfect
どんな時も信じてる自分の明日を今勇気の翼で Just fly away We are future fighters この魂のデュエル闇を切り裂ける 奇跡のカードぶつかり合う時空超えたバトルお楽しみはこれからだそれぞれの夢を手に入れるために行くぜ最強の未来 Never give up, never give up, never give up, never give up
I mean, the instrumental is great. The vocals are missing something. I don't know. Ending number 3. I'd seriously like the player to just play when I click play. What's with the detective cosplay? Visuals are great. The visuals for this are actually hilarious. Don't really enjoy the song a lot, but I mean, it exists. Not like it's bad, just kind of mid. Ending number 4.
聞かせて君の好きな歌は何ねえ例えばこのままどっかへ抜け出して心臓のブルーを隠さずに話をしよう起きてて最高の日にしよう
Yeah, I feel like that song's also fitting very well for the vibe that I'm getting from the ending visuals. I haven't watched this iteration of Yu-Gi-Oh, but still, that fits at least the vibes of the visuals of the ending. Yeah, definitely fun. Ending 5.
ダメじゃない涙を隠すピエロ気持ちに嘘をついた僕
星だらけの日々くじけそうになるたび笑ってごまかしてた諦めきれないのは未来の図があるから才はもう投げられた葛藤何を描くのずっと一人きりで描いたビジョンダメじゃない過ちは繰り返さない不可能など言い訳だろう嘘じゃないあなたの笑顔こそが僕に何度だって力くれるよ僕にとってのビジョンはあなた
Also feels like that song would work very well for closing out an episode of this show. Yeah, the endings for this basically fit as being an ending, and for what I've seen of the show through the openings and endings, it also fits the vibes, which is nice. And the final ending for Arc 5.
「落とすし階段踏み外す」「突然の雨に吹くはびしょ濡れ」「人生山あり谷ありて谷だらけじゃないか」「ここで負けじゃ何も変わらない」「今日の僕は少しでもイケてたかい」「悩んでいる姿はいけてない」この時を瞬間を逃したら二度と来ないよ後悔なんて何よりも情けないんだおセンチはナンセンス何度も頭の中で同じ想像ばっか繰り返すより切り札はペンデュラムどんなに落ち込んでもみんなでワイワイ笑えば変わる景色難しいことじゃないよほら君の笑顔楽しんだものの価値さ
That's fine as well. Let's go on to sevens. Actually, never mind. Reigns also still exists. Yeah, ending one for Reigns. That's a trippy ass visual.
踊れそのかかとで打ち鳴らせ叫べ You gotta go 声張り上げ歌え存在をさっとき放て Get away 掲げた限界超えるまで何度でも try 果てしなく広がってゆく世界の中で限りなく繋がってゆくタイムラインの中で確かなことなどないこの孤独な時代迷わせ強い Cause we still believe in magic 僕らが残す奇跡僕らが残す奇跡僕らが起こす奇跡を Never give up never 諦めないさ Never give up never
Meh. Not really my music. Yeah, that's kinda boring. Ending 3.
君というネットワークその先に広がるここは今の連続だ君はどんな今を生きろ空にシューティングスター掴み取れその両手でこれを今を全力で Can't you make it to make it free Let me know you free. Let me know.
That's decent. Like, it's fine. Ending number 4, Glory by Bandmate. Amazing. As per usual, absolutely freaking awesome instrumental. Saki's vocals on this also absolutely great. I want to hear like the full version of this. We haven't checked that out on the music reactions yet, have we? I guess I have something for an upcoming Bandmade Monday there. Maybe I'll even do it for this week. I'll see. Either way. Next one. Final ending for Vrains.
何度も繰り返し言われてたな夢の話だけは言い聞かせられ僕の命は大切なんですか次の次の次の説明
Decent. Definitely good vocals. We've got 2 more series to go through, and one of them has like 9 endings. Because this first ending gets reused like 4 more times, being sung by different voice actors. Yeah. We're gonna hear that song a couple more times. I mean, not that it isn't fun, but I can see that getting annoying if we listen to it over and over. Let's see. In the meantime, we've got ending 2, which is not that song.
出会い囚われたままで満足できるか寒い日常抜け出したいなら駆け引きなしな勝負しようか体中を巡ってく熱く燃える闘志よ俺様のためにあれ無謀な愛も夢も食らい尽くせ手に入れよう想いのすべて感じるまま響かせよう熱いメロディー己の道を信じて生き抜けここがヘブンなんヘル
Okay. That's a good song. And now we've got a bunch of these.
1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6そびえ立った学び屋にキンコンカンコンキンコンカンコン降り注ぐむつら星 1 2 3 4 5 6辛い時迷う時キンコンカンコンキンコンカンコンここに来れば大丈夫さ輝く未来だけど僕ら胸に宿る光はいつもななななななだななななななだ学ぶならばななななななだ 1 2 3 4 5 6ななななななだななななななだどんな時も僕ら集う場所いつの日もごはいななしょ
I mean, it is actually fun still. So I'm really looking forward to see whether it stays fun through all of these.
1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6そびえ立った学び屋にキンコンカンコンキンコンカンコン降り注ぐむつら星 1 2 3 4 5 6辛い時迷う時キンコンカンコンキンコンカンコンここに来れば大丈夫さ輝く未来だけど僕ら胸に宿る光はいつもななななななだななななななだ学ぶならばななななななだ
What was the one guy just putting ramen into sushi there for like the visuals? Like, huh?
2 3 4 5 6ななななななだななななななだどんな時も僕ら集う場所いつの日もごはいならしょ
And next one. So we've got this one and then still two more versions.
1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6そび 胸に宿る光はいつもなななななななな
Somehow it actually stays fun.
1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6そびえ立った学び屋にキンコンカンコンキンコンカンコン降り注ぐむつら星迷う時キンコンカンコンキンコンカンコンここに来れば大丈夫さ輝く未来だけど僕ら胸に宿る光はいつもななななななだななななななだ学ぶならばななななな時も僕ら集う場所いつの日もごは第7章
We've got one more version.
1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6そびえ立った学び屋に
キンコンカンコンキンコンカンコン
降り注ぐむつら星
ワンツースリーフォーファイブシックス
辛い時迷う時
キンコンカンコンキンコンカンコン
どこに来れば大丈夫さ輝く未来
だけど僕ら胸に宿る光はいつも
Somehow all of these were fun and good. Well, we've got a few more endings to go though. Ending number 8. The amount of na 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 in frickin' lyrics or titles or anything really related to openings and endings for sevens is kinda you're going a bit hard on the pun. Can you keep playing? Hello. Anime themes? Why is the robot thing doing a workout routine?
それも悪くはないな掴みたい未来だって手は届かなくて叶えたい願いだってまだ夢のままで高らかに歌おうぜ君と歩くなら明日はきっと超えてゆける今日の僕を超えてゆける
Okay. That's an ending, all right. And the last one.
「遠くから始まりの音」「知らない世界響く」「確かめたい自分の限界」「たとえ命すり減らしても」「自信持てなくて向き合えない」「Let's jump start 最高のメモリー」「無限の可能性をかき鳴らすの今」「ページめくる先につながる憧れ」「君に開く道」「君は教えてくれた」「わがままに諦めないすべて」「迷わないあるがままの色で」「Are you ready? I'm ready」
I like that her dual disc is also a guitar. Anyway, we're going on to the final endings for today. That's the endings for Go Rush. Nicely enough, that's only 2 songs. There's a bunch of different versions with different visuals to them, but I'm only gonna use the first one for each because that would totally freaking like it's enough at some point.
「目的地なんて知らないままのワンウェイ」「あの宇宙の果てかもね」「即席なマウェイ」その方がなんかいいねほら ABCDUTS めちゃくちゃな並びも正解にして Hey somebody please hit me はいディスクのリタも醍醐味 Go Rush 過去現在未来どこだって飛んできそう僕ら頭で描けるならできないことなんてないはずさ別に理解はいらないから導かれるまま進んでゆくと
That's a fun one. I like it. We've got one more ending.
ラタタティリリリテレレレレレレレラララタタタラタラタラタラララ
That's just a voice actor version.
ラタタタラタラタララタラタタタラタラタララタララララタタタラタラタララタ目的地なんて
Somebody please hit me ハイリスクのリタも大根にゴーラッシュ過去現在未来どこだって飛んできそう僕ら頭でかけるならできないことなんてないはずさ別に理解はいらないから導かれるのな進んでゆくことラッタッタッタラッタラッタラッタラララララッタッタッタラッタラッタラッタラッタッタッタッタラッタラッタララッタラララララッタッタッタラッタラッタララッタララララ
Yeah, fun. Somehow the endings for like the last two shows, the ones with the rush duels are just fun. I will see you for the next opening and ending reaction and the next first impression and anything else that's coming out tomorrow. And also I will see you for the English openings for Yu-Gi-Oh! All seasons in the next video that's also coming out this right the hell now alongside all of the other stuff that's coming out today. There's so much stuff that I just recorded for one day. Yeah. Either way, see you there. Till then, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. My name is WW Dadman. Bye.